This is my Belgian Pinfire Revolver from the late 19th century. I have another video where I showed an overview of this pistol, took it apart, and removed the rust. In that video, I showed that it's missing the loading gate, which is a part that covers the cylinder but is able to be flipped open in order to load the revolver. Today I'm going to go ahead and make it. The gate isn't a structural piece to the revolver at all. Its purpose is to prevent rounds from falling out of the cylinder when it's fully loaded. I don't need to have a gate at all to shoot this, but I'd like to for it to be complete. I'm going to be making the gate from this piece of 1/4 inch thick brass. Like I said, it's not a structural part. It doesn't bear any pressure or really have any areas that need to resist wear. Brass is much easier and quicker to work with than steel, especially when working by hand, and I think that it'll give a certain flair to the revolver, standing out as a DIY replacement. I want to trace around the opening for the gate, but to do so I need to put the brass behind the frame. I'll quickly disassemble the revolver, removing the barrel and the cylinder. Then I can place the brass where the cylinder once was. To trace it, I'll use a Sharpie in place of layout fluid. Then I'll carefully line it up and trace around the opening with a scribe. I'll mark those areas to be removed with an X. For the outside of the gate, it will follow the curve of the circle that makes up the rear of the frame. I'll align either side and scribe around. I almost forgot to include the area where it pivots, a much thinner section that fits into a slot in the frame. It looks to follow a curved shape. I'll freehand it. One more thing is there needs to be a protrusion, a hook for the thumb to open the gate, similar to in this picture. Again, I'll scribe it on freehand. Now I'll put it in the vise and rough out the shape with the hacksaw. After the gate is roughly cut out, I'll start shaping with a coarse file. I'm doing the inside faces of the gate first. I can't run the file over the curves with the part in the middle of the vise, so I'll move it to the edge. There I can round over the curves. The reason I'm starting with the inside of the gate is that if I go too far, I'll still have material left on the outside. As I get close to the scribe lines, I'll switch to a fine file. That's about as close as I want to get to the line for now. I'll move to another inside surface. Filing sideways like this ensures that the filed surface stays square to the sides of the gate. I'll stop and test the fit by holding it against the revolver frame. But before I refine the fit from what you see here, I want to shape the area that has the most potential to go wrong, causing me to scrap my work so far. And that is the thin area that fits into this slot. I'll very roughly mark where to start the cut. Move back to the vise and start cutting. It's hard to see, but I'm ending the cut with the blade just above the original scribe line. This side doesn't have a scribe line, so I'll have to be careful to end the cut in the same spot. I'm cutting on this side so close to the edge that I can break off the sliver of material left. The other side isn't giving up so easily. I'll have to cut it off. That's much thicker than the slot. Now to get it into a position where I can file it thinner. I'm mostly pressing down with the file. I'll tackle the step down on the left after I get the thickness to dimension. To prevent the file from rocking, I'm holding my finger underneath the end and running it along the workbench. I have some more to go until it will fit in the slot, but this view shows that I need to remove that material from the other face. It's a close fit, just needs to be a bit thinner. The gate is flush with the front of the frame here, so the material that needs to be removed will be from the other side. I can fill in the area with Sharpie to make sure that I have the file flat and that material is being removed evenly. It's real close now, just a bit more to go. It's fitting in there real well now, maybe a bit more fine tuning, but I want to get started on bringing the sides to dimension so the gate fits close against the frame. To do that, I'll use this file. It's square with teeth on only two sides. With one of the flat faces against the area where I just filed the thickness, it won't change that, it will only cut downwards. I'll file down to the scribe line. For the other side, I don't have a scribe line to file to, so I'll try to match what I did on the near side. The curve on the bottom is fitting fairly closely, but to get the area I just filed to fit in the slot, I need to accommodate this step and file this area down. This area at the top needs more fine tuning. That's better, and the curve is a tight fit against the frame. On this side I drew a line at the depth that the slot is cut, so I'll just need to file this down. With the gate fitting well, I can remove some excess material. Now to mark the hole for the pivot screw and drill it out. Now it should fit, but with this sharp point at the top, it won't be able to pivot open. I'll round that over. And then I can test the fit. Adding the screw. It's able to pivot open without any interference. Now I'll begin shaping the exterior, starting around the opening lever. Here I'm sanding the front face of the gate at a slight angle. This is the slight bevel I sanded to make it flush with the frame. Now to do the same on the rear face to get the thickness to better match the frame at the bottom and at the top. There's more material to remove, so I'll start with the files. And then I'll sand it smooth. I'm rocking the gate as I sand since there's a slight curve to this face. After some additional cleanup work, sanding the edges and minor chamfering, here's the finished gate. With it attached, it opens with slight resistance. The edges blend into the frame, and its shape continues the circular outline when viewed from the back. There is a small flat spring that holds the gate closed. I'll screw it on. And test out the gate to make sure that it can close against the spring. Looks good. With that, I'll screw back on the front end of the revolver. And mime inserting cartridges. I'm really happy with how the gate turned out. I think the brass looks really good. The next step is to figure out how to load 9mm pinfire cartridges and then take this 150-year-old revolver to the range. Keep an eye out for that video in the future. Thanks for watching.